All right, morning team. Sorry about the confusion on YouTube. OBS decided it wasn't going to put today's live and put tomorrow's live for some reason. Don't ask me why. I have no idea. But hopefully most of you made it here. Okay, as always, we're going to start off on a daily. All right. Now, there's a good thing and a bad thing here. Good thing is we've left the range. Bad thing is we've done it. I've done the move while I was asleep again. So the move that we pathed out yesterday towards the 20-day. Remember, we were looking for that yesterday. It's come in overnight. All right, so if we think about this big grey box here, all right, how we've now shifted point of control from 2026 up here. We're now under point of control. We've lost point of control. We've lost the edge, and they faded it overnight. And you can see where we faded back into. It's very, very, very simple, isn't it? Hello, Mr. Resistance becomes support. All right, we've now taken this liquidity here from this date here. What was it on the 6th? And we're coming towards the safety of the 20-day. All right, so if we think about our sigma moves or standard deviations, all right, we're back to the mean. All right, we're going to find safety here. Now, does this mean it can't travel lower? No, of course it does not mean it can't travel lower. All right, if there is panic, we have moves lower. But what I would say is based on yesterday's move, we've actually hit, or we've come in towards that extreme area this morning. We did have sellers chase the market down here, failed to move lower pre-market. There was some delta divergence, and they've started to try and bid it back up. And the key levels today will be yesterday's low, and then this edge back in here again. All right, so if we're going to look to fade today, we really don't want to be fading down here, do we? It's a bit like yesterday. We don't really want to fade at the bottom of levels. All right, it's unfortunate that this market seems to be obsessed with not letting me in this week. It's the game it wants to play, but sometimes that's the market. You just got to remain patient. So we'll see if we lift and fade today. Do we like reject, or we'll see if we fail to break lower, which will be like the last few days, and that will be the trade we'll have to take back up. All right, because the train's left the station. If we move to the hourlies, we're going to have a look in more detail what we're seeing. All right, so this white line was the undercut line. If you look at this pin, probably slightly too, there we go, into this pin from Thursday the 6th. All right, so if we think about what's happening this week, we're losing value from previous week. We've built out liquidity here, which is also current year's point of control. And overnight, if you were lucky enough to trade overnight, you had one of the easiest trades we've seen this week. All right, this is one of the easiest trades you've seen. You had a 2-bar pullback into the point of control from the current year and the current week, all right, with buyers stuck up high after it had flushed down. Look at this, flush, first bounce, short, thanks very much, and you hit targets. That was the train leaving the station, all right? You got basically a move from 575s to 230s. That's your A+ setup, folks. Unfortunately, yet again, it's done it overnight. It is what it is. So as we watch these today, we're going to be watching for a couple things. Previous day low zone, right? Do we reject there and retest the low? If we get through previous day low zone, I'm interested in where we're low volume, all right, into previous day value area low and overnight low. All right, so if we do trade through previous day low, I'm willing to see it trade from 400 potentially up to sort of 480, and in here I'm wanting to be short side as long as we haven't already retested that low. So if the opening drive, all right, is up into here, I'm looking to sell that back down. Very simple. All right, hopefully it's what we've looked for the last few days, right? The opening drive into here, I'm looking to sell it. The opening drive into here, I'm looking to sell it. The last 2 days, it hasn't filled me. So let's see if today it wants to do it and fill me. Third time's a charm, all right? All the time we're underneath previous day's value, all right? We're searching back down to this liquidity pool. And I would say the extremes, when we talk about the gamma extremes for the day, in fact, we can probably put it on. Maybe it's ready. There we go. So we're coming into it and potentially back down to the 200s. So there is a trade set up here, you know, anywhere from 400 to 480s, 460s. That can get us down towards low of day. And if we got very lucky, 200. So there's potentially like 250 odd points in here, right? We will protect on the way down because we're smart, all right? So we won't get all of that with full size, but we'll get some of it. Now, if we fail to break lower on the opening drive, there are sellers caught at the lows and we did have divergence. If we fail to break lower, or if they sweep and reclaim, the trigger will be much like the last 2 days where it doesn't give us the short, and then we're going to have to play the long back up, all right, into 400, run us up in towards 570, 580, all right, and then we'd be done with it. If we reclaim value, we go into this chop zone. I'm not particularly interested in trading that. I'm going to be like really honest, like, no thanks, all right, and this isn't just on the current week, this is on the current year. All right, so I'm going to do my best to leave that alone if we come in there. If they want to just glue in here for OPEX, that's fine. I'm just not interested in trading it. I'd rather be flat and have a chat with you guys and have a laugh and give away some fun stuff. All right, and we can then wait until maybe if they're going to come back in here and this is a fail break at low, maybe after OPEX, we can see this move. Now, that's the setup. All right, that's what we're looking for. In terms of gamma, all right, we are neg gamma. All right, once we lost 510s, all right, and certainly under 430s, we went negative gamma, which is why under 510s, we suddenly sped up, all right, and this was when the New York session traders like woke up, all right, which means faster moves down, bigger ATR, but also bigger squeezes up, all right. We will not go into a grindy market until we get back in here or in here, all right, so we expect faster, sharper moves. All right, just be aware of that. 20-day with safety. All right, lower time frame. Let's go through everything else and why we're moving. First thing I want to talk about is ES. All right, I'm going to go to a daily because it's important you understand where we are. All right, ES is doing its RBS backtest. All right, understand this. You must zoom out. All right, it's finally come into its RBS. Funnily enough, we are finding a bid here. All right, so old highs, right? We squeezed through, right? We finally retested. Now we expect buyers to try and hold this. If they fail to hold this, then guess where we're going to come? All right, next zone. All right, so we're expecting a bounce in one of these. I'll tell you now, if the market loses this, and it won't be today, but if the market loses this, that's a really big problem, especially if we do a gap down. All right, if we like gap down one day to here and we leave an island high up here, that's the move that I've been saying I'm quite concerned about. If that is a failed break higher and we gap down and we start rolling, that means NQ never took the highs, it failed, and this is a failed break higher in ES, and that is the start of a potential top. So we're not there yet. It's still bullish structure overall and it's holding, but I just want you guys to be aware of it. I have talked about it a few times. Right, structurally on ES, it's pretty clean right now. Right, we're into a huge RBS zone. Flip some of these over. And it's fairly simple. Right, you've got a fairly simple task ahead of you. Let's get the gamma on so you guys can see it. There you are. All right, so you're looking for fades all the time. You're either under previous day low. If they squeeze through previous day low, all right, potentially come up for a back test towards 16s. You're looking to fade that back down into this block. All right, if they don't push at the open, all right, and they hold lows, or if they sweep and reclaim, you're gonna have to play the mean reversion back up towards this zone. All right, so you'd be TP1 and then TP2 at the top. All right, kind of similar to what we're looking at on the Qs. All right, if we look at the spiders to give you those same levels to make it nice and simple. All right, I assume we've done the same thing. No, we're not there yet on the SPY. So SPY's actually got a way to go. 760, so we've got divergence between the contracts. So SPY still has room to come down. That's why we check the ETF. So SPY still got room to come down. Move to 5 minute. You can see the key shelf. We can pull this down here. All right, so I'd be watching fades versus this morning. That'd be my first thought process. All right, if we can't recover this zone here, these two zones on the SPY, all right, then I expect fades in them. All right, so ideally we get a second leg up to fade into this morning. That would be the cleanest move back down. Again, the same thing. If it wants to hold the bottoms, it finds a bid. At put wall, you just wonder, all right, do we want to come down there? That'd be one hell of a sell-off. But like we just saw, SPY's got room. ES doesn't, SPY does. Qs, all right, into key level, same kind of story. You can just thin this out, change these colors over because we've lost them now. All right, finding a bid here. We're watching previous day low, but ideally we want to trap bulls back inside this range. All right, so ideally they do a second leg. All right, and they get stuck somewhere here for us to fade down, and we can cover on the way. We will respect the structure. All right, just be careful if they do reclaim previous day low and they go on this second leg up. Right, we kind of expect them to do that, and then we can fade it once done. Okay. VIX 16's the level, same as yesterday. All right, it is starting to perk up. All right, so we have put in that inverted head and shoulders. Right, that flash down yesterday, straight back up. All right, 16 break can start getting us moving. All right, remember it's OPEX. Today and tomorrow start to get wonky, and then we'll start to try and run people out. Dixie, all right, continuing to come downside. It is basing, it hasn't recovered, and this might continue to fade in. Hopefully it does, but the big things we need to look at, honestly, are these over here. All right, they're calling the Fed's bluff. So Fed had to buy back yesterday, right, causing this move, and the market's saying, well, you're nowhere near buying back enough, mate. We think you're in fucking trouble here. And that's the story, especially as we move down into the 10-year. That is pretty dangerous right now. That's the story of the tape. That's why we've dunked, and they don't trust the Fed to buy back enough, and they're kind of calling everyone's bluff, saying, hey, you've talked enough shit this year without action. The deal's on, the deal's off, the deal's on, the deal's off, and it's starting to cause problems. And if you're looking at the energy sector, which I've talked about extensively, diesel's been breaking out for a few days now in a row, maybe a week, and everything else is starting to follow, as is gold. So it looks like big money is starting to call everyone's bluff here. All right, mags, trading inside yesterday's range. All right, this is your pivot. We did put in a bottoming formation. All right, we did just fail to hold inside of here, which would have got us to the next block, and we're coming back downside. So worth being aware of that on the mags. Semis, we've lost the 120, or we did lose the 120. That's the big level, 120 and then 125. Again, neg gamma. If we lose this, if we zoom out, we can keep moving down. All right, there's a shelf here into 10s with a gap fill into, what's this level? Was that 17s? Yeah, 17s, then 10s, and it starts to get nasty. So it's worth being aware of. Broader picture, if we look at these individual names, Apple, relative strength, doesn't have the same AI exposure, but going nowhere right now at these highs. Amazon coming back down inside yesterday's range after a big drive out. It's got to hold this level, basically 60s. Google still consolidating here, all right, after losing this shelf, but not really going anywhere. Meta is the one that got really hammered, starting to base out here a little bit. We're in a 3-day range. We'll just see if it can protect this low. Maybe it's ready to make a run, but if the broader market gets hammered, this thing will be punished first. Softy, is that a dark pool print? That's got to be a dark pool print, isn't it? All right, we'll watch this to see if they base out. Same as some of these others, starting to base out here. If they protect these lows, maybe we get going again, but again, broader market not looking great. Nvidia come right back down inside. All right, so big gap down earlier in the week to start the week. Had the drive out yesterday, failed to even get up into these 25s, and we're walking it down unless they get compression and relief. Rollover comes. You can see my price alert down here that I'm looking at. And then Tesla. All right, nice drive. You really want to see it start to protect some of these levels here if it's going to get going for any relief. I would say some of the other ones I'm watching for swings at the moment, obviously Netflix. I have restarted a position. It hasn't come in as far as I would like, but we have restarted something. I'm watching Bull today, finally. That's one that I've been trying to get in for long term for a while, but it finally got the move on earnings yesterday. So we'll see if that comes back inside as well, if we can start picking some of those up for swings. And I will probably watch Moderna. I want to see that sort of base out for a few days. If it can come back in and base out and trap more shorts, then maybe we'll have a little go at it. Maybe we'll have a go at like a 3 to 5 day swing on it. Right, not an investment, just a swing. It will have more stuff, more news around it in October, beginning of October. And as a reminder, where are we? Thursday, 20th. Yeah, we have a little bit of news coming at 10 a.m. today, but not much. Right, folks, that's has you covered. So I'll be waiting to see, ideally up here. Ideally we squeeze up there, and then I'll be looking to get short-sighted if we do. Let's make sure the copier is on. There is my copier. Lead accounts. Perfect. All right, good luck, team. Here we go. See how far they can squeeze this up. And if they offer us a nice trade, ideally 450s or above would be fantastic. Rejection there already. Big rejection there. Semis at PDC. I want to see these lift a little bit. I want to see everything lift a bit more than it has so far. That looks like that might be it already, which will be very disappointing. Delta divergence at the highs again. I would really like to see this get up towards 450 if possible. Feel much better. 450 to 480, somewhere up there would be much, much better. So hopefully they can just lift this up here and then we can have a go at it. Here it comes, good. That's what we want to see. Higher the better. The closer to this, the better. We get tighter RR then. They're screaming up. Remember, ES has been into its RBS zone. It's a bid off that. And we'll see if that can get up towards 715s as well. Here we go, folks. This is good. I'm starting to get interested in this. The higher the better right now. Into that put wall. Anywhere in here, I'm looking for exhaustion from buyers to get trapped, to like start to sell into them. They get over ambitious. If we recover previous day's value area, then I will ignore it until we get much, much higher. All right, delta divergence again there at the highs. I'm interested in this at the moment. I'd like to see a bit more of a squeeze out. Let's get some volume on here before I forget. Okay, I've put a little starter on there. Wow. There we go. And I'm going to watch 20s, see if 20s stay heavy. It's just a starter position. We have created a little shelf up there at 20, so I'm short right now. Entry right now is at 24. It's nice. If pops start to fail 20s, I will consider an add, but I want to be very careful. It's still very early in the day. This can still come up higher if it wants. There's still a lot of liquidity higher. Nice, good rejection of 20s. Still wonder if they want to lift this higher, but I've got a starter on at the moment like I talked about. There's a lot of liquidity higher if they do want to go on a quick run for it up into this block. We will see. Yes, XOXL just swiped and came to that VWAP. That's what we wanted. That's the exact reason why I'm interested in this area. It's the swipe up. All right, still rejecting 20s. Still looks good. If we trade through 20s, then I think we're going to go 450s, 480s, and I would obviously cut the starter and then have another go up there if we do into this next block. And if they return through this, I won't be looking short. I would expect chop. If they get through previous day value, then they're probably going to come right up for this, and I would just expect chop at that point and no continuation. Moment we look okay. Can't get back through that 20s, this node. Right, and we're short above that. I'm short at 24s, and my stop is just protecting this 20s at the moment. If we start to break down under New York Open, I'll start to consider an add. Here's previous day low. I'd like it to start flushing underneath this now and prove to me that that opening drive was it. No, they're still bidding that. You bought the open with 2 minis. You're a brave man, mate. You're a very brave man if you did that. All right, still holding previous day low. This is the level I need it to break down under, and then break down under New York Open, and then we can start retesting some of these areas down here. At the moment they're still bidding. There you go. They've just bid previous day low. I'm now out of this, and I'm going to expect this to drive up now. Here it comes. And then we'll check this level up here, and then we'll see if it wants to reject that. And if not, like I said, I will ignore everything inside of yesterday's value. That's my plan already from pre-market. I do not want to trade inside of yesterday's value. So the shelf on the daily, I'm going to have to remind myself, is basically 530s. Yeah, if we start getting inside yesterday's value, there ain't much I want to do with it at that point if we do that. It would just be leave alone for me. There's value area low. Yeah, SOXL is going to come back for that 25. That was a key level from yesterday. If it gets over that, then it's maybe tries 30s, but I think 25s. It's sort of lying in the sand at the moment. And we'll see if we fail up here now or not. I'm gonna get rid of that now. We've traded through it. All right, neutral zone up here, and gap fills up there as well. Remember, but if we come inside a value from yesterday, unless it's a little poke and an instant fail, then it will be a no trade location for me for a while. So we will see. Unfinished auction up there. ES coming into that key level as well. So you would expect ES to fail from where we are now up to 20s. Again, if they reclaim that, they will go gap fill. And then we can't really trade it because we go back into chop zone again. It's a shame because the train left the station. The bid was down here this morning. That's the safest bid area once we got the divergence. And now we're returning back in, and we're going to do the same bullshit as yesterday by the looks of it. I'm going to go back inside that same crappy range. Hopefully not, but that's certainly what it feels like at the moment. Certainly feels like this is going to try and go back in the range into the chop zone again. All right, some sellers getting aggressive up here. 45s. We'd have to vacate all of this for me to be interested. At the moment, there's someone absorbing the tape at 40s. Perking my interest. Someone's still trying to come in on the tape here. That's value here. 30s, they're trying to protect value at the moment. Feels close. 30s again. There's the buyer again at 30s. There's a battle here. Big battle here. Here comes the buyer. ES rejecting that zone like we talked about. Semi's propping this market up. Looks like they want 125, and they're not going to probably see much of a flush until they get there at the moment. Looks like their target. If semis bid 23 here, they're going to go 25. If they lose 23s, maybe the push fails, but relative strength here in the queues. Again, all thanks to the semiconductors. Mags gapping down and going nowhere. Semis green on the day. And this thing just making our life pretty hard right now. Yes, give the perfect short off that second leg up into that key shelf. Another huge seller up here at the highs, 235 lots just come in at 60s. So they are trying to defend value at the moment. But you just wonder if this has got more squeeze in it at the moment. because if semis want to go to 25s, this thing can keep squeezing. I am interested in the short up here. It's why it's a red block, but I'm just waiting for it to develop at the moment. More bid down here, someone trying to protect these lows. So let's see here. I'm going to watch this now. If we start to reject 40s, maybe I can be interested. Here we go. All right, and we've got to be careful of value here. 400s. So I want to get short side on pops now if possible. Can we pop up a bit? There's a big rejection block up there. Oh, don't run away, please. Day 3. If it comes down here on day 3 without me, I'm gonna cry. I will cry. All right, we're holding value. I'm looking for pops up and to see if they'll sell them. Here we go, letting go of value now. Let's see, watching this in towards 37 to 40 here. Bookmap just giving me another warning. Can't keep up because that move was so big and aggressive. It can't calculate the order flow. Still nothing for me. Just flat. Semi's caught the bid there. So just waiting to see if this fails here. I'm wondering if they need to come 125. At the same time, look, Mag's starting to catch a bid, as is software. So I need to be very careful here in this zone. We like this zone, but we didn't reject the bottom side of it 40s yet. Oh, come on, Bookmap. Don't stall out on me. All right, I've got a piece on there now. Small size. I'm actually expecting this to break higher, but just in case the last few days it breaks lower without me, I've got a piece on there at 40. And I'll use that shelf into 50 for protection. Out already. There we go. Expected to break higher, so get 10 points there. Tight risk. Semi's failing now. Rotation starting though. Mag's found a bid with semis fail. Oh god. No alignment. Where I'm expecting the pop. Well, if they pop, I'm expecting them to come up to value and close and zero line. So previous day close, zero line gamma here. All right. If they pop and fail that, that's where the run can be. If they fail this, we can do it, but it's not looking very good right now. It looks like they need more at the moment to me. And remember, these have just suddenly gone into rotation. So we've started to bid these and sell these. So that means this market might just like pause here for a moment. It is what it is. That's what we're being served with the queues at the moment, unfortunately. Can only trade what they give us. Exactly, Mag's high day. I mean, it's ridiculous, isn't it? They're into their key level here as well. And their closure is another 20 cents higher at the moment on the mags. Why don't I want NQ to sweep value area low? I'm quite happy for it to sweep value area low. It's not a sweep though, it's just a trade into it. There's no sweep because a sweep would be underneath or over liquidity, and that would not be what it is. But if it comes inside and base is here, then we go into a chop range and everything changes. And I would say if it gets inside value, it will fucking want to have a go up here. It will. Well, yeah, again, overnight players having the best moves. If you were long on that delta divergence at 265, you're really nice. You should be in TP tier. If you were short from that crack earlier at 550s, you had a good move. We're being served with the rebalance and the market not knowing what it wants to do right now. It's another failed break higher. Failed 40s again. Let's see if there's a way of getting involved here. Semi's cracking. If they lose PDC, we're going to have to get involved. So that 40s is the level. Back to value area low. It's a tight range here. Semi's cracking hard. Back to the New York low. Bid off 120s there on semis. Want to get involved here if we can pop a little bit. Big buy stepping in at these lows. Mate. This is awful. Watching to see if we pop back up to 40s and fail again. Ideally, we don't just break the lows. All right, I've had to put something on at value area low there because we're not popping up. And I'll be looking to see if we can run down to previous day low. I'd much rather look for the short of 40s here if we pop and fail. I've got a small piece on. And again, I'll risk very tiny size here. This is on the semis now. What the fuck are they doing? Here we go. See if we can stay heavy now. If semis lose the New York Open, that will help. Oh my god, it's literally, we're only trading semiconductors here. That's what I was saying yesterday. Should we just stop trading NQ and just trade the semiconductors? Because we're only moving when they move. Here we go. New York Open on semis. And if they flush that, maybe we get the move. Here they go. Here they go. See if they let go of this or not. It's a big level on semiconductors. Yep, losing it. Let's see if we can stay heavy there. Reclaiming semis. All right, my stop's moving to 400 here, protecting value. Just break even stop basically, because they're protecting New York Open. If we could reclaim value on this session, then we're going to go back up to 40s and 50s again. And then I'll have another look at it there. There we go. There goes my stop. Alex trade coming up to the tick. If we can get back in there again. All right. Back in here again, small size. Come on, semis. It's a battle here. It is a real battle here. I want to be careful here structurally. They can bid this out if they want from this zone. And if we let go of this, we're going to target all the way down here. Come on, semis, just go away. Stop the bid here. Get out of my way. Nice. Let me get under this New York Open. Nice. All right, looking for flush lower day and then a snap. And then all the way down here if possible. So structurally, we want to be maybe covering some into 50s, but I would really love to get down into 300s here and 240s all the time. We are heavy under 400. Where's my TP? Like I said, I'm looking ideally for 240s. Some at 300, some at 240s. I'm trying to give this a chance. It's just it's all about the semiconductors right now. Market's not paying any interest to anything else right now. I'll show you. It is literally. Can we? Well, how do I get my fucking screen up here? Where's my watch list? Have they moved it? There we go, finally. All right, it's all about this right now. All right, that was the opening drive. That's why we drove higher. It got stuck. We're underneath close. We're underneath New York Open. I'm looking for this move back down now. Come on, Qs, follow it, please. There is some absorption taking place in that New York Open. Be very careful about that. If they hold this structure, then they can go all the way back up to upside if they get back through value. So you want to be careful here. Come on. Come on. Let's go. Break it. Let's snap to the downside for fuck's sake. Nice. All right. Let's see if we can get 300s now. 300s and then ideally 240s. Actually, opening range low there, folks, that you've just tapped into. And I'd like semis to come down into that 117 zone if possible. Fucking hell, they made that tricky at the high, man. 2 attempts I had up there. Knocked me out both times, then chased the lows. For the 400 break, knocked me out once there. Now in again. Come on. Get a move on, market. What's this liquidity here? Who's this guy? 20s. Yeah, if we can get under 20s, 320s, we'd look good. You might want to peel some off here in case there is a battle taking place here. I'm watching it on the tape. They're trying to bid it out of this zone. But we have some imbalances after that, and we can move down to 300s. That's what I'd really want to fill. But just be smart. Nice. Come on, extend it now. Let's accelerate away now, please. Good. Good. Let's go. Looking for 300s and then 240s and below. Don't be a dick for a tick here, all right? Do not be a dick for a tick here. We're now sweeping this liquidity, and ideally we come down into this block, and you can see this level here, 300s all the way down here. I've covered some into this. There's near enough 100 points here. Now, if they want to bid this out, I will remind you what we talked about pre-market. All right, we will look for a second drive higher. Here we go. Here's the bid back out. If they reclaim this, I'll be done. If they reclaim New York Open, I'm done with this, and I'll look for a re-entry in a bit. Sat in that still for now. I don't want them to bid 20s here. Sellers absorbed well there. 20s are starting to hold. I'm getting ready to take my position off if we don't flush this. So don't want to get caught and squeezed up to 80s. What the fuck? Lost connection. Anyone else having ninja issues? I've just not lost all my connections. All my connections have gone. Everything's frozen. I've got no data. Well, hopefully it took that trade off. Can't connect to anything. Yep, you've got the same ninja freezing. I can't connect. Oh, here we go. It's come back on. Okay, good. It took my runner out there. It looks like I gave a little bit back, but nice and green on the day. Got concerned there because I always worry when I've got a stop in, when it goes offline, that it doesn't work, but it's fine. We're good. We're good. All right, there's the recovery. Now, let's go over why we took that trade and what we were looking at. All right, it's really important you understand. Hourlies had come into a key pivot. We do not short the lows. What do we look for, right? What's this? Support becomes resistance. Very, very simple, right? We're looking for a drive up there to sell. Now that drive up, the best drives are two legs. 1, 2. They get stuck at the highs, all right? So we're looking to fade this up here. Now they made it very, very difficult up there. They made it very, very difficult up there. We didn't see a lot of passive selling. Actually, what we saw is a huge rejection come in and they whipped me out twice before doing it. Then we broke down. Once we broke down, we came down to what? This, all right? And like we talked about pre-market, we will respect the moves down now for volume because we've now put in a base. So that was our covers. They've come back inside. They can chop this around a little bit. The main move is still lower, but the low for the day is 200s, right? We don't expect it to go lower than 200. So the easy move here, right, has just been had into here. Now, if it sets up again, we can look for something else. But what we can also be aware of is if this market fails to break lower, they can keep doing this today and build out a new range, all right? So we've made some nice money there. And now we'll wait and see if the next setup comes. It was my internet connection. It was not the internet connection. It was not, because I can see everything else was running, mate. It definitely was not the internet connection, because otherwise Bookmap would have a gap in it and these candles wouldn't be printing. It wasn't. It wasn't. It was Tradeify or Ninja is what it was. Okay, so in towards these lows, there are some bids here. I'm now out of this position. It looks like we just, while I was teaching, they rejected this LVN up here. So that same level we were fading before, they have just rejected. There is still this if they want to come downside, all right? So this is the pool where the buyers will try and protect. And I will tell you, down here at the lows today, right, there were some sellers caught, all right, into these lows. Look at this. There were some big sellers caught down there this morning, and we had divergence at those lows. So I am aware that they might want to hold that because they can keep those sellers caught down there if they really want to, but we will see. And as always, we're watching this. Where's IGV gone? Oh my God. What is going on today? Should we try that again? Semiconductors. Can we add IGV back, please? There we go. All right. Well, that looks nice, doesn't it? Does this look like it's all going the same direction? It looks pretty shit to me. Right. Let's go over the morning. Semis opening drive. MAG opening weak. IGV software weaker. Semis failed to make a new high. Roll over. Software finds a bid. MAG finds a bid. So now we're in a washing machine. Fun, fun, fun. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. Yeah, there's news at top of the hour here in 30 seconds. It's not big news, but there is news. All right, semis rejecting PDC there, back under their New York Open. Not seeing follow through yet, though, to the downside. And we are now building out a range down here. And really, it shorts up in this LVN. You don't want to be short towards the bottom of this. So it shorts up here. And if they recover that, then you've got to imagine they're going to go for the gap fill and stuff. So a bit of a W formation starting to appear down here. But sellers are in control right now, higher time frame. Semis back to that New York Open and that 120. That's their under over right now. Mags, by the way, going absolutely nowhere. They've been in a 10-cent range this morning. It's a shame they made that higher day in the New York session. It's so hard to trade. All right, back to the fours. We can watch this if they can print into that LVN, possibly up towards 430 here. If they reject that, we can think about maybe having one more go at it, but structurally it's looking worse and worse for the short now, if I'm honest. But we can think about it. Semis back through the 120s, so they're going to come up for PDC again. Mags towards low of day or a little shelf. Let's see if they break down or not on the mags. VIX still not breaking through the 16s, but it has caught a bid here the last 5-10 minutes. Caught the short with 2 micros and added 2 micros at the New York Open, made my target for the day, locked out. Nice work, Richard. That's it. Right, more absorption at these highs from sellers. I actually want this to come higher at this point. I don't really want to be a buyer down here. So if we come up here and then roll over, I'll have a go at it. Maybe on the sell side, if I can see the buyers come in and get exhausted up here. Otherwise, if they let them through, we'll let it come up here and exhaust out. And if we start holding value, I will not trade in here today. I am not interested in trading in this area here today. I'm not interested in rotations of value in OPEX in that big level. $120 rejection again there on semis, then coming back up to test it again here. You can see it's just options traders starting to take over. There is some seller trying to absorb this tape up here in front of 400. Back down to this New York Open again. If they flush this, I don't think there's a way of me getting involved, unfortunately. Big buyer at these lows. There's more big buyers at 20s. I would assume they're going to get wrecked now. It's just a shame we haven't come up to 430s. I'll watch the New York Open. I guess this looks gross the way they've built this out, though. Look at that. It's disgusting. If you're still in the short, you should be targeting still 300 and then 240s. Right, so 300 and then 240s. I'll watch this New York Open, but I don't feel good about trading short here. I do feel good about trading short up here, though. Where is the flip? The gamma flip, you mean? Right up here, 510s. Basically PDC. That's your 0 line. We're neg gamma underneath that. Too choppy at the moment. I agree, Murph. Like, look at that profile. That's what I'm saying. I don't mind having a go at it up here. But this is gross. And the thing we have to keep remembering is high time frame buyers might want to bid ES in that zone, all right, into that big daily RBS zone. And also we've come there or thereabouts on the daily. If we think about that pivot from the 21st of June, 22nd of June, 20th of July on NQ, we're there and we're at the 20 days. So we're struggling a little bit here to move lower, and it's not surprising. I think they're going to punish these buyers down here. I think it's a matter of time. There's some big buyers who keep coming in at 17s and 19s and another one at 33s. I think it's a matter of time until they get flushed out. just stuck here now. What was the expected move today? I think it's 220s to 200s or something. 235 based on yesterday. 280s is the extreme, so we came into it already. That's what we talked about. Upside, you're looking at like 750 to 800, which is somewhat unlikely unless we get back inside value. What is going on, Trading View? Unless we get back inside of value and expand, I just don't see that happening today. I don't see us getting to the top side of the move. You'd have to have a major macro event change. Alex, I passed my first eval, took a small L on the new funded, but I'm stepping away, not in the mind frame to trade this at the moment. Thanks, guys. Good luck on the giveaways. Nice, mate. Well, you passed it. You took one small L. You don't like what you're seeing. That's good trading. We've had one winner today. We were basically looking for shorts up here and finding a way to join in it. And our base covers were down towards 300s. I would love it to come down here, but it's not. And I will have another go at another short if we come up here and get stuck. If we don't get stuck up here, then I'm going to expect them to try and fill that gap and go higher. But I'm going to wait to see what happens. At the moment, we're just in rotation. Mags breaking down. Semis trying to get back upside towards their midpoint of the day. The rotation is absolutely clear. Look at that. We just wait. We'd be patient. See if we get alignment. See if they come up here and stuff it. Right, so the first trade today was down towards this, and if you didn't get there, you joined a bit later at 400. Remember, it's OPEX, so I'll remind you it's OPEX. They can absolutely burn all the options traders by doing what they're doing now and pinning it and going nowhere. They can do that. Old school, yeah, you just got to slow down, get back on the horse, mate. If you made mistakes yesterday, you have to make sure you don't make those same mistakes. Forgive yourself for making them. We're traders, we do stupid stuff, but try and eliminate it and get back on the horse. All right, New York Open here again. I still think these lows are going to be taken out because there's lots of buyers down here who got very aggressive, and I still think we're going to move lower. We're just not moving high enough for me to get short at the moment. I don't think the low's in here in the New York. I think these guys are about to get hurt. Just going to wait. Ideally, we can get into that LVN and I can have a look. Okay, VIX coming for high of day. Semi's back to its midpoint again. This feels like a repeat of yesterday. Yes, holding well. And we're basically stuck between pivots now on ES. If you look at like, basically it's a little bit under, but let's just call it 700 to 720. We're just stuck. Right, that's where we broke down from, and it's also the RBS. So we're stuck there. We pushed up this morning, we failed 720, we've come back down in towards the 700, we found a bid, we're back into the midpoint now of 705. Like, we're just completely stuck while they decide what is it we're going to do with this market. They don't fucking know. It's clear as day that they don't know. They haven't known all week, because that's why we've had to zero follow through. Thoughts on ES? I literally just gave it. Literally just said it. Okay, let's watch. I'm going to watch this LVN as we come up here. I want to see if buyers get stuck in here and if they resell this back down. I'll be somewhat interested if they do. Semis have caught a bid though. They're through PDC, so we want to be careful. If semis hold the bid back into PDC now, they can explore back towards the highs. So we're just rotating value at the moment. We're going from here to LVN. Only just stuffed the LVN there. Here's PDC on semis. This is their key level. If they hold the bid here, which they are, they're going to explore higher. Still nothing to do here at the moment. 13s, what do I have here? 14s, yeah. Need it to come up higher. If I'm going to look for the short, I need this move higher and then buyers trapped. I really don't want to play the range rotation. I want to see them trap. If I'm going to play the short, I'm looking to see this, and then take out these because those buyers down there look way too comfy with way too much size for me. I think they will get wrecked. It's a question of when and if it will give it to us. It is frustrating to see what we get in New York. Like, honestly, like, this couldn't be more A+ if it tried. Into key level, failure. This at the low, massive delta divergence down here. Bid back up, and now we get this. I mean, it's so annoying how garbage a market we've had this week for New York. I know, it's because of the options. It's OPEX, I know. Reminds me of Ali G. Of which bit? Stain's massive in it. He's got a new film coming. See, he got like arrested at Wimbledon because they didn't know who he was. Hilarious. No, I don't think anything will change for extra sessions. Certainly not in futures. I can't see that much liquidity being added. All it is all these institutions are trying to find a way to get more gamblers into the market. You might see my post yesterday. I don't know if you guys saw it, but they're now creating or potentially creating ETFs tracking NHL teams. All right, and they will move up and down based on the success of that NFL team. Yes, you just heard that correctly. Effectively, sports betting ETF. Any way to take degenerates' money, they will do. Right? I'm not joking. I'm serious. You can Google it right now. It'll come up on Yahoo Finance. It was announced 2 days ago. They're seriously looking into it. Right. So even the 24-hour sessions, that's all they're doing. Can we attract some more people in so we can take their liquidity? That's literally all they're doing. You know, they've put nanos in. They've put the single stock futures. There's no liquidity on it. There's none. No one's trading it. No institutional size is trading it. I know, Murph. That's what I said. They've got Polymarket for it, but you know that's not enough. Now they need to take the market from Polymarket because it's privately owned and make it so they can tax it and make government money off it, I guess. Here we go. Well, we didn't get up to my fill, unfortunately. Back down to the New York Open. Semis failed that push towards high of day, 24-hour view up, but they're still over PDC. I'm interested in short, but I'm only interested in the short up here once we fail. Otherwise, it's range rotation. The only other thing I can look at is this, which is a very dangerous trade. But I do think there's quite a lot of buying activity at these lows. Have been pretty aggressive, and I do think they will get run out. I do. But I don't want to be in a bad position to get to them. That's why I'm trying to let the market come higher first. You range traders should be having fun here. I would not be convinced about a bid of this low, though. I think it's looking dangerous. So I'll be watching semis here. If they let go of PDC, we're going to go 120. If they let go of that, they're in trouble. And I think these buyers at these lows are going to get taken out. I've said it the whole time. It's just whether I can get an entry to get short. At the moment, the answer to that is no. So here's value area low again. I don't really want to short under this. It feels very risky. I really want to be short up here. It just won't come back for me. If you're very, very risky, you can look for that. I'm not going to look for that. And if you do get that trade, you'd have to target down here to make it make sense. You'd have to have a tight stop if you're going to look for that. For me, that feels way too risky. I want to be short this for that move, and then maybe I could add. I'll see though. I'll see how we build liquidity out down here if I see more bulls getting trapped. All right, semis under PDC. They're not under 120 yet. That's their level. Here we go. These bulls are about to get absolutely liquidated at these lows. And if they become sellers, this thing's going to absolutely tank fast. And you might get like a really nasty move. If the buys in here become sellers, you're going to get a nasty wash. Have we got this on? Maybe we can see them with this. There's big buy. Here you go. All these big buyers, I think they will get hurt. I think it's a matter of time until this washes out and claps them. And their pain point is under 17. Okay, that's their pain point. Their stop is probably into these pivot lows, but their pain point is actually 17. That's where most of their size is. Okay, absorption here from sellers. It should come here now. They should just snap these guys out. You should see a wash coming here. It should be fast and sharp. So if you are short, you want to have some wish orders out for the covers, and then try and get down to 240s if it was very, very kind to you. And they've just jumped in the book again here. And they're trying to sell down again. Big seller there got absorbed. Woof. All right, there's a big buyer and a big seller battling it out down here. They should have snapped lower and didn't then. There's a buyer trying to walk up and protect 30s now. Here he is at 30s. He's now pulled his bid at 30s and added at 20s. A lot of games down here. That's what I said. For me, it feels too dangerous to short here, but they should be taking out these buyers at these lows. There's definitely two big players here battling it out. Buyers pulled his bid at 30, so if they run this now, they should get the lows. No, so he's not at 30s. Here he is at 20s now. This should be accelerating lower. And then you should get down to 300s. Here it comes. There you go. All right, there's your 20s, and he should accelerate down towards 300s now. More sellers came in at those lows. Be careful. I'm somewhat surprised they haven't taken out. Well, they did take out 17s. Yeah, they did. I'm surprised they haven't flushed under 17s. Semis holding that 120 and New York Open. So that's your over-under. Same as yesterday. 120 is your level on semis. If they let go of that and New York Open, I think you see this drive down here and reprice some of this. Let me just have a look at Asia. What did we have down here? We did have a bit of a node. 300s. They should just let this go. You've done the hard work. As long as semis let go, here it goes. Finally letting go for you guys. So congrats if you got it. Those are your wish orders in towards 300. This was our target earlier. And then just down here, if you get really lucky, they come for low of day. Now, I would say there are sellers caught at these lows, so they can absolutely protect this. I've seen 17 in Bookmap. What do you mean 17? Oh, where was I seeing 17 from? Sorry, I get what you mean. This guy here. Look at that turnaround. Once they liquidated them, they turned it around. This guy here. That was big, big size here. Look at that. Fuck me. And straight back up. And this is why I said I will not be shorting the lows. It feels too dangerous. There's a full reprice. I tell you what, no one really like they stepped on the gas once they turned 25, so maybe they just got their exit and then that was it. I'm still sat on my hands here. What do I think of deep charts? I don't. Everyone always asks this. I don't use them. They look good, but I don't personally use them, so I can't really comment on them. There are lots of guys in my room that use them and really like them, but I can't comment. Right, semis held the 120, held New York Open back towards VWAP. All right, so that was this bid here, there, boom. That's what the bid was. Again, I'm still flat, and all I've had today is this opening trade. I made it clear, like that felt very risky trade for me. That's why I didn't take it, because of the range being built out. I am interested here though. Range traders paradise right now. 800 lot at lows. What now? There was no. There was 100 lot. We're watching NQ. Remember, we don't watch MNQ for order flow. There was 100 lot a couple times over, and you see this compression. Here, let me show you this. All right, so we came in 88 lot, 42 lot, 100 lot, 100 lot. They got the break. All right, they got the breakdown under the 17s, but then they got absorbed, and then their stops went for the move back up, and now we're putting in W's and we're coming back upside now. And we might come into that LVN above now, which is the first time I'll be interested. The problem is, the big problem is in this market is we've taken the low hanging fruit, this, all right? That's the big problem, is that is, I'm gonna have to go, let's go 15-minute chart. All right, we've taken that low hanging fruit. That's the biggest problem right now. The train left the station. The best short was this, and that was overnight. The next best short was the first bounce with a 2-leg here. We have been left with scraps in the New York session. Like we just have. That's what's happened. All right, I'm gonna watch this up here if they stuff it or not. Semi's approaching high of day though. Look at that turnaround from the semiconductors right up to high of day. Right off the lows, squeeze, high of day. If they high of day break, they can look for 25s. Big rejection seller up here again. There's still liquidity up to 50s at the moment. Don't see any buyers trapped up here at the moment. Just see big sellers coming in. Don't see any buyers. Mag's turning around off the lows as well. Big's getting crushed at 16s, coming back down inside. Can you sit in your hands? Are you willing to sit in your hands? DRAM looking good. I don't think I've got filled any more than my starter position still. Let me have a look. No more fills yet. Didn't get filled on bull either. Give me a second, folks. Oh, I might get a fill soon on bull. Might get a fill soon on bull. Hopefully we can pick some up here. Let me just have a look at Moderna quickly. Nice. All right, this is what I want to see. All right, I want to see a T+2 scenario build out here. All right, and leave that gap open, and then we can look for something in the next few days. And that would just be a 3 to 5 day swing. It will not be a buy and hold. It will just be like shorts getting exploded through if they pile in today and I see them get trapped. Hi Alex, you don't switch bias to longs. Big sellers caught at the lows. No, there aren't big sellers caught at the lows, and we're just in a range. There aren't really big sellers caught at the lows, mate. There's very little, right? We wicked a bit, but we're just building out a range. And I'd rather wait for the pro trend, which is a short right now. I probably just missed the entry while I was talking there, looking at the swing accounts, because that was the LVN rejection. Yeah, it's just a range, exactly. I'm just building out a range here. What's the best way to trade my fund of futures rapids with real-time drawdown? They don't have real-time drawdown. They have end-of-day drawdown. Okay, back down towards value area low. So another full rotation just got completed. Semis just rejected towards high of day and VWAP. They're back to PDC and New York VWAP. Again, 120s is their level. If they lose 120s and stay heavy, that's where the bigger fail comes. He is not there, but there was an 800 lot 10 minutes ago. There wasn't. I've just shown you on the tape. Like I can see what's there. He's not trapped if he didn't get filled. So you're trying to say there was an 800 lot seller at the lows. I'm categorically telling you that there wasn't. I 100 million% can tell you as a fact there was not an 800 lot seller at the lows caught. I'm sorry, there wasn't. I don't care what you say, because if that was there, I'd see it. It's not there. He's not there on Delta. He's not there on Bookmap. He's not there on the Delta profile. He was not there. There's no 800 lot seller at the lows, mate. You're talking nonsense. Sorry, but you are. That's what I said. We only follow order flow on NQ. I don't care about M and Q. Rotational market. Yeah, we're digesting. Remember, like that. As we went through the beginning of the day, we've come into our RBS zone already now on the daily, unfortunately. Train left the station, moves happened. All right, we've come into our 20-day already. Can we move lower? Yes, but to move lower, we need to build out liquidity, which is what they're trying to do. We also hit our expected move low for the day as well, right? So the low-hanging fruit trade was this trade here, right? Was this either you took that rejection here or you took the breakdown here into that. That's your low hanging fruit. Your long trade trigger was this delta divergence down here, all right? And it came back up to here. And the only trade we've had today is that short back into this, all right, where we built structure out. That's it. Now we're going to do this. We are going to build liquidity out, and then they're going to have to make their mind up what they're going to do with that liquidity. And we might not use it until Monday next week. We might have to get through OPEX before we do anything with it. Do I think a free version of Bookmap's enough? I don't think there is a free version of Bookmap, is there? Certainly you wouldn't have any data provided with it. Alex, do you go a full day without making trades in a single day? Sometimes, very, very rare. If we had opened up today and we had just done this, that would be a day where I wouldn't trade. Rowan, I'm back after a few months. Had some shitty trading days in March, but I'm back with a positive attitude. Missed you, Alex. Welcome back, dude. Good for you for taking a break. Sometimes it's needed. Sometimes it's needed. You feel like it wants to go back to 240. I mean, it can do. This is the area we wanted to be short. I missed that while I was looking at the swing accounts. What's CVD? Cumulative volume delta. Is it useful? Yes. Otherwise, I wouldn't use it. What does it show you? Aggressive participants in the market, right? So when you get divergence of that, and here comes a big seller stepping on the tape here at 60s passively. When you get divergence of that, it gives you a good indication, especially if you don't read order flow. It can be a very good indication of when participants have been overly aggressive at bad areas. Okay, they just filled that passive seller. And they're trying to squeeze now. Semis just held PDC again and now stuck underneath VWAP again. Mags at the moment looks like it might put in its low of day. Semis are going nowhere. I have a massive problem getting short. I'm always afraid of a massive bounce killing me. I don't know how to fix my psychology around it. Well, it's the same as any trade. You need to identify your risk. So the first thing you need to do is identify your risk, because that's going to prevent you from having bad psychology. So, like, for example, if I was just going to play this without waiting for confirmation, I would have short limits in here, and my risk would be this node. All right, so let's say I start getting short from 407 up towards 430, for example. All right, and my risk on that would be at 440, 450. Right, because if we break through this node, right, then we've broken out. That would be an example of it, right? So I've already identified my risk. If I was going to let that come up and not wait for confirmation, just limit in, that's my risk. I accept that risk. You have to accept the risk on the trade, otherwise you're never going to be able to trade. If you don't have a defined risk on a trade, you're not trading. You're just gambling, because you have not decided what your risk is. What CVD is this? This is mine. I'm still working on it at the moment. I'm going to launch a couple versions of it and a NinjaTrader one as well. But it's just not quite ready yet. I've got a few changes for it to make. In fact, I think he did email me overnight, so you've just reminded me. Let's have another go at this then. See if we can get this up. Give me a second, folks. Still don't see it. No. still not working. Sorry, folks. Yeah, I'm trying to get that indicator ready. It's still not ready. All right, semis back up towards that VWAP again. They just track between New York VWAP and 24-hour VWAP. They are trading towards the high of day right now. Said MAG looks like it's going to hold this bid at 67s at the moment. And this chop will continue. And these guys are trying to break out. All right, so there's your high of day. They are into this, right? And if they break out, they have room. At the moment, they keep getting stuck here, but you can see they're holding higher low, higher low, higher low. Getting tight here for semis breaking out. And if they do, market will get going with them. MAGS looks like it's made a bottom, right? And same with software. Alex, what did you name your newsletter? I signed up several times. I think it's just called FZT newsletter. There's a few people saying they have issues. Did you check your spam? I'm gonna check. Landing page, campaigns. Looks okay to me. Yeah, newsletter. The sign-in page looks fine to me for the newsletter, so I'm not sure. Not sure what issues you're having. Where's the link for the sign up? It should be pinned. No, let me just. Yeah, I'll post it in chat for you guys. Yeah, you're saying entry, but I'm watching semis like break out here, so I'm not really trying to force my way on. Why is that form so fucking long? What is up with that? Maybe that's what's caused it. It's the longest code I've ever seen. Shorten this URL. 1 second, folks. I'm trying to get the page for you. All right, I'll post it in chat. That's the newsletter page that I just posted. I'll pin it. Okay, let's watch here then. Into this LVN. Semis are trying to break out through high of day. And they look pretty strong here. And they might need to come up to 125 and 127 at the moment. Mags has curled off that 67. Like I said, Mags looks like low of days in. So I'm going to need to see buyers get trapped if I'm going to do anything here. I don't want to front run this market if semis are about to do a big push. So it's this right here, right? Semis, high of day, Mags curling off the lows, IGV off the lows. All right, so we'll just see if buyers get caught up here in this LVN or not. I'm going to have to wait. There is a little imbalance higher still at the moment towards 20s and VWAP above that. Now, the big sellers at the high of day came in at 60s, right? They get above 60s, they're going to get squeezed out. So we'll see. Hopefully they don't do this little poke and an instant fail without not much really happening up there. Semis back to VWAP. Held the bid on their RBS on VWAP. They should come up for high of daybreak now on the semiconductors, and they should try and get to 125. And then we'll see if this thing lifts, and then if anyone gets stuck up there. Why do buyers get caught but not sellers? What do you mean? Sellers can get caught as well. I'm looking for buyers to get caught because I'm looking to fade this on the pop. If it pops up and traps breakout buyers and turns around, I'm looking to take their pain. If it pops up and it holds the bid, there's no trade. It just means they keep going upside, right? Right, semis into high of day, and they should break out and look for 125 now on the semis. And if they get through that, they can go for Globex high 127. Still liquidity high. They're trying to walk this book up now. Here goes the semis for the high day push. Mags as well, trying to get back towards its VWAP. Come the sellers. Let's see if this bid holds though. Looks like they're going to absorb this at the moment into 20s. Yes, they are. Just waiting to see what semis do here. They're right at higher day. Waiting to see if we pop through 125 and up 25 and fail or not. There's still a buyer trying to walk up at the moment. He's at 20s now, trying to protect 20s. And he's trying to get the move all the way up at the moment. Let me look at the top side of this book. It's a shitty looking book right now, to be honest. Doesn't look like it's squeezed enough yet to me. I think this can go higher at the moment. Here we go. Semis high of day. They're starting to push now. They're going to look for that 25 move. What was that pre-market shelf? 24.37 to 25. What does our high of day look like? Doesn't look the best. All right, semis failing IB, but they can still hold a bid here and have another go. It's tempting to put something on, but I just don't think it's ready yet. VIX coming back downside. Mag, I still think wants to get to view. I still think this has got more drive higher, honestly. I think this has more in it at the moment. That's lower time frame algo and view up there and put wall and LVN. I'm just not seeing like the swipe. I need to see a swipe up and then it gets stuffed. Not really seeing that. Like, It's like a 22 lot at that high there. It's not like filling me with confidence. There is delta divergence. There is absorption up there, but it's not. There's not a huge amount of buying pressure up there to get absorbed. We're talking about a 22 lot. Like, it's not the best. I will consider it, but it's really not the best here. We'll see what happens at value here now. Right. Semi's just got crushed at the highs. We'll see if there's a way to get into this now. Value holding, absorbed value. Semi's just held the bid. So they got crushed at IB. They can now hold the bid. I'm going to have to clean this up over it. What is this pin? $22.50 is their kind of over-under-ish on semiconductors. See, like this tail, this kind of thing is what we want up here, which they're not doing. That's why I still think there's more in this yet. Semis definitely now look like they want more. If that flush just absorbed down, they stuffed IB, they came back down and they instantly responded off 22.5s to 23s. I want to put something on. I just don't know if it's ready. I really don't know if this is ready yet. Here come the sellers. It's the same level as earlier that we shorted. Look, it's exactly the same. Semi's into this pivot again. All right, next pop that fails, I'm in. Please don't move too far away. See if you can come back up to 410s. Please don't move too far away. Please don't move too far away. I'm watching to see if we come up towards 410s and stuff it. Don't you fucking drop this here. That was such shitty excess in the LVN as well. Oh, you fucking assholes. You absolute assholes. Well, this is what we waited for. This is it. That was not the best excess, but that's it. That's your TP1 midpoint. TP2 is here. And TP3 is down here. All right, TP3, TP4. I'll see if I can get involved somehow. This is what we're waiting for. It looked awful. That is really poor at the highs. All right, Mag's coming back down to low of day. You've got to take some off here if you did get in. You've got to respect this midpoint. I'll see if we can pop and fail. Semi's still dangerous, by the way. All right, they're still dangerous above this. Still available for them if they hold the pivot on semiconductors. And I'll watch this kind of level here. That last pop just got stuffed into 490. They didn't even get up towards 410. All right, I put a little piece on there. I will add up towards 410. I've just got a starter position. Because I need something on, because that last pop just got absolutely nuked. And I'm going to target value area low for the session, and then initial balance low, and then if we got lucky more. This is not the best location, but the fact that they just absolutely crushed that last pop into 390s. See if this works out. Every pop's getting sold into at the moment, guys, on the tape. Every small pop is getting sold into. Ideally, we can come up to 410 and I can size in. Right, here comes the curl. Come on, lift it up, and then I can size in. I'm not going to get any size. Here it goes, though. Key level here for semis. They let go of this. They come down to the New York VWAP and PDC, and we should flush down towards this. This is our target right now. So if you manage to get the short we called, which would not give me the entry up here perfectly, if you manage to get this, your TP1 is this midpoint. I would say your TP2, try and play the bottom of the range, then here, and then ideally, in an ideal world, we come right the way back down here if semis are very weak. But you must pay yourself on the way down, folks, because we have structure in here, right? And that was your ideal setup. But once we broke down, I was just waiting for this. And again, it's like the story of my life this week. It won't give it to me once it breaks down. So I am short in here, suboptimal entry. If we come back up, I'm going to add some size and look for this break. All right, semis holding their VWAP. Now we're going to need semis to stuff into 2350s here. All right, on this drive up. If they don't stuff 2350s, they're going to maintain a higher low and put in a higher high and go for 25s. So I'm watching this into 410s for ads, and I'm going to need them to stuff. And if they don't stuff, I will have to take a stop. That was another good push into 390s to get got stuffed there. This is all about these guys right now. Remember this pivot we just talked about? They can still hold this and do it. We need them to see this stuff and break. If they do this, market will break higher. Because it doesn't care about this, all this, it only cares about this chart right now. This chart here is dictating the whole market. All right, that's the drive. We just hit 52s there and they just stuffed it. And now we need lower lows breaking on semiconductors. So that was the reprice into 50s. We literally just talked about it. They just stuffed it. This is looking much better now for lower. Come on. Down you come now. All the way down. Come on, semis. Let's fucking go. Let go, semis. Get under that VWAP for me and let go, semis. Let go. And I will show you what we talked about. We talked about the 2350 stuff. And if they can let go of this level now, we've got a chance to move all the way down to the bottom side of this range. Get on my fucking level. Get on my level. Here we go. Semis under VWAP. And we are going to try and... You can cover some here into New York Open. I'm going to look for covers down here, here, and here now. All right. We will respect the volume that's traded. All right. So you can cover some here. And I'll try and hold for breaks lower now. And I will show you why we did this. Again, it's understanding what's moving the market. It ain't some bearded old fart who got kidnapped in a fucking bullshit scenario. It's all nonsense. Don't believe the nonsense. All right, there's your rebalance. All right, there's the 50s. All right, this is your failure to break higher. That's your failure to break higher. That was the level. Look, 2350s. There's the rebalance now down. All right, and if we can get into these, market will wash with it. So ideally, we trade lower here. We've already hit TP1. And we see how low this is willing to go. TP1, New York Open. I'm trying to get down here, folks. I'm trying to get down to the bottom side of this range. Stone Cold Steve Austin. What a legend. I need his walkout tune every time I come on stream. And when I finish, I want people to throw me Budweisers. Let's go. Here we go. So just holding this now, looking for the expansion lower. All right, so you should have paid yourself some here on the first attempt. If you didn't, pay yourself some here. And then we can look, well, stop now is in the money, right? You move your stop in the money and you try and let this get to the lower side of the range. If it doesn't go, it doesn't go. Either way, our stop's in the money. We will protect the hard work that we've put in today. Did I add? Yeah, I added a little piece. I'm not full size, but I added a little piece. We didn't quite get up to the 410s, but we did get up towards 400. Like I said, on Bookmap, I'll show you again. Every pop kept being stuffed. So if I zoom you out, right, I wanted the move up here. Right, this is where I wanted to get into, but we had a pivot here. See this seller here? He stayed in the money at 400. So the pop in towards him got stuffed and another stuffed. And then we came up, cleared these guys out, encouraged more buyers to get in. Here we go. It's starting to break now. Liquidity is starting to come into this market. It was the time. New hour coming. All right, so this guy here is where I added. And if we want to think about why, all right, that's what I want to see, right? I want to see aggressive buyers fail to move the market higher. Aggressive buyers fail to move the market higher. Aggressive buyers fail to move the market higher. Fail to move the market higher. Versus what? Versus a key level. Right, versus a key level. Right? Now we're breaking down to the bottom side of the range. It's very simple. It's very simple. It's not always that easy to execute, but the actual thought process is very simple. You can see this New York Open is becoming a problem here. They did just absorb there. We had delta divergence at that New York Open. So there is a buyer down there trying to absorb 50s right now. And I wouldn't really want this to break over 80s. And we'll just try and hold and see how low we can go. Semis now starting to reject as well. If these continue to roll over, it'd be great. So if we can make a new low here, then we're going to look for 330s on the book. We're going to cover some in towards 330s. And then my runners are all the way down here, just in case, right? So to make it easy, TPs are here, somewhere in here. You should have already paid yourself a bit here, here, and then there. And underneath that, it's just luck whether we can come down to 200 or not. But the easy move is to here. And if we get that, we get lucky. And our stop's in the money. New hourly bar coming here soon as well, folks. So make sure your stop is in the money in case this hourly moves the market. Thanks, Alex. Passed my eval, done for the week. That last level you called was an absolute banger. Have a great weekend. You're welcome, Rockman. I don't really want this over 80s here. So if we hold this bid, I'm out. Don't want this bid to hold. I just want this to be a push up which fails. All right, done with that there. I can always get back in if they shove this on an hourly. Don't want to give too much back on the runners. I'm happy to have another go if we come up here again. No problem with getting back in again. New hourly bar here. And we left imbalances here at 405s to 413s, which is where I originally wanted to add. So if we come back up here and fail, I will take a fresh position short side. If Mags putting in a high low at low of days, want to be aware of that. Semi is starting to hold the pivot. They're coming back up for that same move again. Still interested in a new position up here. If we push and fail. If we push and base over value area high, I'm probably going to run out of things to look for the day, if I'm really honest with you. Watch this. If they can get aggressive here and squeeze and get stuffed, I'll start a new position. If not, And there's nothing to do. Lots of liquidity up here now. Move my bookmap so I can see 37s. Oh, that's way too high if they're coming up there. Way too high if they're coming up there. All right. They're bidding 400s. There's still liquidity up to 37s. I'm vaguely interested here if they lose the bid, because we did just come up towards those 10s, but I still think there's room higher. There we go. There's the higher room. That feels like news. That's a big volume shove. Right into those 37s that we just talked about. That's a big volume shove. I'm going to just double check that before I even think about doing anything else, because that was very quick. China and Switzerland have signed a free trade deal that eliminates tariffs. Is it that? That's definitely news. Is that the news though? Swiss government expects agreement signing after 2026. Allows Swiss investors to enter the Chinese market. I'm not sure what benefit that is to Nasdaq. I'll be honest with you, to justify us ripping. All right, semis breaking out new highs off that as well. And they are now coming into that pivot into the 25s. I think that might have been over-exaggerated there, folks. Semi's getting stuffed into inside of 25s, back down to IB already. What's the buying up there? That seller hasn't been tested yet at 60s. More divergence at the highs up there. Semi's holding initial balance. We're now starting to flip this zone though. I'm becoming less interested unless we come back under value again. That was good excess up there. Look, that's what we were looking for first time around. That kind of candle. Do you remember down here I said we want that kind of candle at the high? We'll just see now though. It's a bit iffy. Now that we've printed above and they can hold the bid here and semis can hold the bid at initial balance. I'm not sure I'm interested in this at this point now. Lost your first funded account. Why? I don't understand why. We stopped out down here. What were you doing? We were short here. We stopped out in the money. What are you doing there to lose your account? You've got to be oversized, or you've got to be fighting against it. With that last move, what? Look, we're short down to here. We're covering some. How many times here did I say move your stop into the money? Move your stop into the money. Move your stop into the money. If you lost your account there, you literally did not move your stop into the money, or you chased the lows. One or the other. Or even if you are oversized, you either did not move your stop into the money or you chased the lows. That you need to have a look at that. Rewind the tape. How many times do I say move your stop into the money, take a partial? Issue setting the stop loss. I mean, I'm not going to be an asshole. That sounds like an excuse. You've got to be honest with yourself, right? That sounds like it. That sounds like the kind of thing a new trader says. I'm not being an asshole. I used to say it. Oh, this happened. Oh, this happened. Oh, this happened. Blame it on this. Blame it on that. Blame it on this. If it was your fault, the best thing you can do is take ownership to it. You don't need to take ownership to me. You need to take ownership to yourself. I'm just trying to say that to help you. All right, let's watch here now. 400s. It's going to be the same move again. If we can pop up to 410s, I'm interested. Semi's getting nuked after taking high of day. Look at this move away. So it's an over-exaggerated move on news. Like I said, I'm not sure whether Nasdaq's moving up on Switzerland, investing in Chinese stocks. Doesn't really make sense. And this thing's now melting into that same zone. It's just we haven't popped up since. This is this is the story of this week for me. We come into the zones I want to short, and you have to get short on the stuff because it never gives you this move. Maybe I get lucky and it will give me that move, but I doubt it. It was Besant's comments. What did he say? I haven't seen that. Oh, here you go. We can grow our way out of the debt burden. Yeah, of course you can, mate. Of course you can. You can grow your way out of $40 trillion of debt, which is you can't even make enough money to pay off the interest on that debt. Who are you fucking kidding, you moron? Good luck with that. What a twat. Yeah. That buyback you did yesterday really helped, mate, didn't it? It made a fucking ginormous difference, didn't it, Besset? What a twat, mate. How are these guys running the show? Mental. Huge rejection. Yeah, into our supply, right? This is where we wanted to be short all day long. All day long, this was our short level. Very simple level to get short. The problem is we got in there on news. We did trap buyers. Once we broke down, what do we like? We love this move here, all right? And we didn't. We tested value. We bid back up, and then we flushed without testing it again. So we'll see now. We have one of these. This is still possible. If you are in this, you should be, again, TP1, TP2, TP3, TP4, right? Semis, all right, they broke out. They're coming back down to this same level again. This is your over-under right now on semis. So higher day, failed to move higher, come back down to safety. This is the level. They lose this, they fall out of bed. Mags, new lower day here. All right, new lower day on Mags. I would very much like this market to give me another opportunity here to get short. And this is your target. It's the same as before. It's the same trade with a clear out. This is better. Look, remember here I said that's not the best excess. That is, though. That is the kind of high you want to see. Oh, it's accelerating away. Max, new lows, semis into VWAP. I've got to find a way of getting into this. Here's your New York Opens. This is your TP1. Same as before. You're in short side at 430. That's a great short, man. That's a great short. Absorption from sellers here is going to keep moving lower. 300s is your next target, right? 330s to 300s is your next TP, and then under that, you can think about that. 240s again. I've got to get involved. I've got to find a way. Get involved, motherfucker. Let me in. Come on, squeeze back up for me. I watch 72s here. I watch 70s and then I watch 410s. All right, I'm in a tiny piece there. I have to. Much rather, again, we come and rebalance that kill candle towards 410s. But this looks like every pop's being sold again like first time round. Semis right at key level right now, and they look weak. This is going to work out nice. This is coming. Nice. All right, remember your cover's 330 to 300, and then we're looking for all the way down here if possible, right? So you've got to be covering some here, 330s or 335s down to 300, and then we snap that, we're going to look for the expansion lower. Right, so you're into TPs here or hereabouts. Come on, follow through. Give me 300s. Here come the sellers. They're flying in now. Here we go. TP1 here, 330s. Let's see if we can fill 300s, and then let's see if we can move lower. Really good. Yeah. Thank you. Here we go, guys. 330s here. So it's exactly the same trade as every time today, right? Exactly the same trade. This trade down, this trade down, this trade down. I've joined a bit later here around POC. Looking for this now, and then this if we get lucky. We've paid ourselves no matter what. Again, I'm going to repeat like last time. Move your stop into the money, all right? The trade's proving itself to you. There's no reason for this to come up to 410s now if you've joined later. Do not just wait. Like, move your stop in the money. If it knocks you out, you can always get back in at the failure at 410s. But ideally, you protect this as we rotate. And ideally, we lose value here and we start to nuke this. And I will have a look here. We still haven't broken initial balance today. And really, we would hope. Yeah, we got good confidence here to move down and take that 240s out. And maybe, I don't think we get 138. I'm just going to check expected move on the session. Yeah, let me check this. 187 potential. Binaries 227. Based on yesterday was 219. Based on the open was 248. Okay, so basically 250 down to, what did I said on the day was possible now? 250 to 200, right? We need to be covering, be out basically. So we got value area low there. That's your next TP. And you do not want this back above 370s. It's very simple, right? You want POC to stay heavy. Otherwise, they're going to come right back up to the upside up here again. That's why I keep saying move your stop into the money. The bid there came on semis off the New York VWAP, by the way. So they're now trapped between 24-hour VWAP and New York VWAP. I'm still just sat in this trying to let it work. Trying to let it work on the runners. And if it goes, it goes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. You believe we are in range? Yes, we are. We absolutely are in range. But where is our position? Right? Every trade we've taken today has been from this. All right. And every cover we've had has been here. And every runner we've tried to get to is down here. Like I said, if it doesn't stay heavy, we stop out in the money. It's really simple. If they hold New York open here, they come back for 410s. Still think this can move lower. Just got to get back under that New York open. Here we go. Come on. Down you go, baby. It's a big level, this New York open. We get under this, we can go to 300 and let go. If they keep holding New York open, we're going to go all the way back to 410s. If they get over point of control, which is 70s. So the choices now are very simple, aren't they? Value area low to point of control. If we fade that, we get here. If they reprice this, they come back to here and we stay in that. That's the decision the market now needs to make. It's rotated value. It's come back to safety. Do sellers say, no, we need lower? Or do buyers say, no, we're coming back to value area high again? We can watch this. Look at this pivot. Still there. So undercut, reclaimed. Needs to reject this. Otherwise, this happens again. There you go. Good rejection of POC. Here's New York Open, and we want to see continuation lower now. And I will actually consider adding if we start breaking down here. We'll be very, very careful. But now we've built out so much liquidity today, I feel more comfortable about adding if we break away and then stay heavy on a return in. I'll try and add. So I want to see us break under 330, stay heavy, come and retest 330-ish, and I would consider an add at that point. Do you know what? I'm going to move my stop tighter here. You can see it's New York Open so sensitive. Here we go. Let's take out this buyer underneath us, please. And then let this seller at the lows out. Nice. At this point, I'm looking for 286s. Initial balance and then 286s. They don't want to let go. They are desperate to hold this market up. They know they're in big trouble if they lose this bid here because there's so much volume built here. All right, next break over 70, I'm fully out. I've given it time here. Hopefully we do it. Next break over 70, I'm fully out. Nice OPEX day. Do they not let us get our win because they need to stay pinned, I wonder? Come on! You've got them by the balls here, sellers. Just fucking push. All you've got to do is do the move. You've got them right on the edge. I've got a hard stop in at 70s now. Technically, I could risk my entry up towards 80, but I just don't want it over BPOC. Because I think then full 10 is available for a squeeze. Don't know how that didn't take me out. Literally hit 70, I think. Am I short? No, I'm full port long. If my stop's at 70, what do you reckon I have? What's going on here? What did I say right here? What did I say I'll do if we come under here? What do you reckon I am? You guys are funny. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Here we go. Come on, please. Come on. Come on. You can do it. All right, semis. Come on. Nice. Back to New York VWAP. Please don't bid New York VWAP semis. Let it go back to 120 and we can have our fucking move for the day. Come on. And I might be aggressive here and add if we start snapping 230s and staying heavy. Got to let this seller out at these lows. He's 133 lot at 30s. That's why I want to get under that and know he's okay. Here we go. Let him out, and then let's accelerate down. Come on. So I'm looking for IB low here if possible. I've already covered at value area low, so I don't want to cover again there. I'm looking for initial balance low. There is on an auction that we can complete at 286s, and then I'm looking for these lows if we get very, very lucky on this. So if you didn't cover first round into value area low, here's a cover point for you. I did cover first time round, so I'm trying to hold now. Let's fucking go. Get heavy. Go, 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 go. Get heavy, please. Go away, semiconductors. Get under your New York VWAP. All right, I want to see heaviness stay under 330 now. I want this seller to stay in the money, and I want to accelerate to 300 and snap. There is delta divergence potentially setting up here, so I want to be careful. Nice. Go, 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 go. Snappity snap, snappity snap, 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 snap. Let's go. Let's go. Can't believe the 70s held. Yeah, it was a big delta level. Do not want these sellers getting caught here twice in a row around these 30s. We need to accelerate lower, otherwise I will be done with this trade. Good. Right, I added there. It's a cheeky ad. And we'll see if we can get IB low. And hopefully I don't regret that ad. But I'm looking for this acceleration now. We just rejected 30s on that push back in. See if we can get IB low here. And then snap underneath it. I'm going to move my stop down even further now because I'm going to have to protect 250s now on my stop. More potential divergence down here. Come on, give me IB. Just be polite and then snap IB. Come on, semis. Get under New York VWAP for me. Come on. Come on. 125 lot to fill at 300. There's another 122 lot under that towards 85s. And there's more even lower. Come on. Do not hesitate here. Go. Absorption here from sellers. Good. Go. Go, please. Pretty please. Let's go. Come on. Come to 300 for me. Almost there. Come on. Come on. Come on, semis. Do it with me. Help me out. Come on. Come on. Initial balance coming up. Don't be a dick for a tick. All right. Took a little piece off there in front of IB. And now I'm just waiting to see if we get this final target. Okay. So that's our IB. I'm waiting to see if we get final target. Stops moved in towards 350s now. Ideally 30 stays heavy. And my stop's at 50s just to give it 20 points of wiggle. It's a good rejection at 30s there. Hopefully we can keep moving lower. Yeah, 330 check exactly. That's what they just did there. It's a good sign. They just checked it and rejected it. We just need follow through now. We need a flush through 300 and then just let the whole thing go and come back down to these lows. Remember, this is our expected move on the day down here. And this is, if we break that, there will be a stop run at these lows. So we've been proactive. Now we're just holding runners, right? It's been the same trade every time today. It's been numerous attempts at the same trade. This one went for us. This one only went part for us. This one didn't give me the entry here, so I had to join late. And then I added. So my entry is more like here. Unfortunately, some of you got the call here because this is the LVN and the S BR with a LVN, all right, with big rejections. Let's go, let's go, let's go. All right, big seller at these lows at 300s. He's been absorbed first time round. You should be down to small size now. If we get acceleration outside of the initial balance, we're going to try and take out this. This is our last target. So you just hit everything else. You should have 10-20% left only now. Got max payout and 10 Apex. Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. Closed way early, but W. Thanks, Alex. You're welcome. No worries, guys. The likes are poor, are they? Do you know what happened? Most people probably left. Most people leave because they can't sit through the chop and be patient enough. Yeah, they're so poor, guys. There's like 2,000 of you and 600 likes. So this is what we're going to do today. If we get to 1,000 likes, we will do an Apex giveaway. If we get to 1,200 likes, I'll think about what else I can give away. If we get to 1,500 likes, I'll do a members only giveaway. So you members will get a very high probability chance of winning something. All right, 330 check again. Remember, we've put in excess at the lows now, folks. We have put in excess at the lows now, so that we are 10 to 20% only left. All right, if it does not want to flush down to here, it can reclaim. Be aware of that. If we go through 330s, we're going to come 350s, and that's where my stop is. So 330s, big buyer coming in there. We have got some sellers here, and we'll see if they stuff this back down. If not, we're going to go back inside after washing out initial balance low. Yes, so we've made most of our money here today already now. And it's just whether the runner wants to go for us all the way down here or not. It's about to make its decision. If they bid 30s here, then we go back inside today's value. Semi's finding a bid off PDC. Mag's trying to find a bid and build out some structure now as well. All right, they just bid 330s. This is probably done now. I'm going to take that stop off a tiny bit early here to save myself. So I'm out now. Can always get back in, like I always talk about. Can always get back in. And the next trade setup would be a build out, probably underneath IB now. So if you did take that high break, right, the best you got out of that was 113. If you had to join later with me here, the best you got out of that was 71 points. Not bad though. Either way, whether you joined this trade here, Alex, did you just stop out and not give it a breath, room to breathe? Either you took this or you took one of these ads here. Right, this is still potential down here. Alex, did you just stop out? Did you just do everything you said you wouldn't do? This has to take 50 now to make me feel good without taking that early stop. Please come and trade 350 now just to make me feel okay about that. I might have broken my rule again this week. It might be the second time taking a stop out for no reason and not letting a runner work. I think it was a good stop, but if we don't break 50 here, it's going to be a very bad stop. Full ported 430. Thanks for the wonderful call. Hey, nice man. Good work, Stephen. I mean, not good work on your risk, but good work on taking the trade there. Oh, Alex. One day you'll let your runners just fucking go all day. What do I consider an A+ setup? I'll tell you, like Globex had an A+ setup. This is an A+ setup. All right. In Globex, we built out a huge amount of volume up here. The day before, in the New York session, we have buyers trapped at highs and buyers trapped up here. So if we do this, right, we know buyers are stuck between 750. Remember, my perfect short would have been 850, 750 to 600, right? That was also previous day value area high and previous day point of control. Okay, so just remember that, basically around the 600. Now, Confluence, let's go to the daily. Where is the shelf? Oh, it's around the 600. That's your year's point of control. So if we reject under this shelf, it means we can't get back inside of this rotation, and it means all buyers from the year over point of control, over 600 are stuck. So just let this sink in. Just let this sink in. So what we are now saying is all buyers from May are stuck if we vacate this, and certainly all buyers in this node, and certainly all buyers from all of August, right? Fail breakout higher, right? So Confluence's yearly chart, remember this is a yearly chart we're looking at, yearly buyers over point control stuck, daily buyers over point control are stuck, buyers the last month over this level are stuck. Okay, there's number one. So higher time frame, short. Hourly, this same level we just looked at, what do we have? Point of control, previous week's value area low, current week's value area high, all the buyers are stuck. Okay, so we're migrating value lower. We can see we're clearly migrating value lower with an island high, leaving these guys stuck. So what are we looking for? We're looking for a trade back in where we can get these guys out of position. So what does Globex do? It traps them. It trapped them yesterday. It breaks down, and then it gives a nice, slow, steady grind with excess into key level. That is rejected very hard. At what? At the daily shelf, at the yearly shelf, with everyone stuck. That is an A+ setup right there. That is as good as you'll get. It is as good as you will get. You will not find an easier setup than that, guys. All right, so once that rejects, you're sitting short. What are you targeting on the short? Resting liquidity, right? Where's the resting liquidity? Where are all the buyer stops? Here. Right, and then under that, RBS, and under that here. Right, so to give you confluence then, if you then looked at this market and you'd gone, okay, well, overnight I'm short. Alex, you're a fucking idiot, Alex. You are a fucking idiot. That's the second time this week I've broken a rule and not sat in this. This should now accelerate down to 240 and beyond. All right, I'm going to continue to teach you before I get very, very, very upset myself for taking a stop when I shouldn't. You fucking knob. Oh, it's the second time this week I've done that. You fucking idiot. Right. So that's your A+ short. All the way down to here. Flow zones support this short. All we do is sell pops, sell pops, sell pops, sell pops, sell pops into this. Now, if we think about the confluence of why we would cover here, other than the fact it's an RBS zone, higher time frame, right? Other than the fact it's the liquidity we just showed on the hourly, if we then go to the expected move, where are you guys? Bookmap. We come to the expected move, right? And we go based on previous day, right? End of day, previous day, we expect the expected move to come to a low extreme of 220. Based on pre-market, 248. Based on the open today, possibly 29,000, but 29,147. Based on what we're doing at the moment, 161. Okay, so we get good short confluence. What are we in? We're in negative gamma. So we know when it fails, it's going to be fast and extreme. So we want to position short side on pops. That was your A+ trade. Now, what did we have to do today? Well, we don't short lows, right? Because this is a zone that they might want to buy off. So what did we look for today? A 2-leg or lower time frame, a 2-leg into SBR, which is also previous day value area low, which has the 0 line, which is what? This is where the buyers are caught from. So imagine you have to put yourself on the other foot. If you are a buyer in Globex up here, right? If this gives you a chance to get out break even, what do? You fucking get out break even, don't you? You get out break even. All right? So when you get out break even, if you're a buyer up here, what do you become? You're a seller. So regardless of what your stupid older mentor says when there's no such thing as supply and demand, there fucking is, and that would be it right there. That is supply, all right? Because that is participants who are stuck. That's why we short from there. That's why we short from there, all right? Your covers are now here. Alex is very, very annoyed with himself for taking a stop here because he has done that for no reason whatsoever. None, okay? And your next target is here. And if we break down further, sorry, folks, I'm absolutely on tilt myself right now because this is going in the journal. This is the second time this week I've taken a position off with a runner when I didn't need to. There is good confluence for us to move down here. So what is down here? Right? Relative equal lows. What else? Expected move. What else? 1.5, 1.61 expansion of initial balance. All right, very good confluence to come down there right now. I am now out of position, so I won't be taking it. My tone changed drastically. What, with myself? I get very upset with myself when I don't stick to a plan. Here's the plan. I didn't just make this up now. All right, this was not made up now. Right, ready? This is why you want to be in Discord. We are looking for opening drives into this, right? Once we get there, we're looking for the drive down to these lows. Once we come to these lows, we can think about this turnaround and bid back up, right? This is the white line on the screen. This is your white line on the screen. This is your red block. Remember, look. Red block to white line. Red block. What's the opening drive? What did we do this morning at the New York Open? This. Right, it's just we've had to do it a few times. This is what we're trying to do. Red block to white line. Red block to white line. Under white line, if they fail, they move higher. I was willing, saying if they trap at the red block, maybe we go in a rotation. If you read my notes, I clearly say I would not trade that. Right, market has now done pathing pointed out above. This was yesterday's pathing. We were looking for this trade here. We did it overnight. Right, this is the A+ trade. 800 all the way down to 300s. What did we do last night? Right, you got to include in the previous day. Right, fail of 800s. Didn't quite get to 800s. Up here, all the way down to 300s, right? So we completed that pathing. We're aware we've completed that pathing. Where's today's? All right. Market's done the pathing point now above. Complete the move. We're now into potential extreme lows for the day unless there is panic. This is me showing the extreme lows. Worth noting, ES has now backtested the RBS zone. NQ is approaching the 20-day SMA and also the RBS zone. We don't want to be short side as a new position near lows today. The train's already left the station, so we're either fading drives up or if we bottom out holding the lows, we're going to look for the mean reversion. All right, do the pathings. VIX at 16 is your key level. All right. OPEX, 30 years at a key level. If we fail, the market might be okay. But if we break out that, things potentially get nasty. Guys, you're coming into these key zones now for you to cover. Oh, I'm so annoyed myself. But the breakout of that, things potentially get nasty. Debt now over 40 trillion in the USA after the Fed started the buyback. Market is saying, hey, Fed, you're going to need to spend a lot more money than that to save this market. Lower time frame, there was divergence at the key level and sellers are stuck at the lows. Right, here's the delta divergence at the lows, pointing out that's where we pivoted off pre-market. There are sellers stuck down there currently. Easiest move will be a shove up to 400 to 480, confirmation that we cannot get back inside previous day value area. And if we get that and buyers get stuck, then we can fade back down to 300 and then run as low of day. If buyers hold that level, we can flip long. So the plan was 400 to 480, 400 to 480 to get short for the move back down to 300. And if we get lucky on runners, we can get lower day. That's exactly what we're doing now. It's the reason I'm annoyed with myself because I knew this was coming and I could have made considerably more money here. Remember, I've just moved my stop down And I am going to end up costing myself an extra 100 points on that runner. That's why I'm annoyed with myself. Full fucking tilt. This is a big tilt thing for me, is when I fucking don't stick to a rule. I'm nicely green. It's got nothing to do with the money. It's to do with not trading well. That's where I really get annoyed at myself. Everyone thinking that 29,475 is a good entry for long. Who was thinking that? No. I mean, amateur hours thinking that, right? Amateur hours thinking that. You're looking good here, folks. So I would say you're into some structure here. If we have a look at what, I'm just going to look where that seller was stuck. All right, pre-market, you're into this level. We have an imbalance here, 71 to 69. There's a 200 lot seller who's stuck at 69, and then there's a 162 lot seller stuck at 250. So beyond that, you know, panic might start. I would say cover some, and I would have wish orders out. All right, I would just have wish orders out down here, because if it does break this, you might get a liquidity break and you might get very, very lucky on a cover. But we know 71, there's a seller stuck, right? So we almost came into him. That's the start. Down here is the start of where that seller's stuck. Am I looking for longs back up? No, not right now. I mean, let's go through it. Since this failure to hold above has happened on semiconductors, what have we done? We're breaking down. What's MAG doing? It's breaking down. What's IGV doing? It's breaking down. Okay, they're trying to turn off the lows, but only for a bounce, right? What's the target for this market? It's very, very possible we come down here, right? So the only way I would long, right, is if we see big excess, right, and then a pivot hold and maybe this back up. And in here, you are going to need sellers piling into the market who then become trapped, just like we had here, right? And then maybe there's a relief long. I would say, for me at the moment, I'm done, because I'm far too pissed off with myself to look long, because the trades today were short side. Excellent trading day today, Alex. My biggest day yet because of you. I've learned so much the last few months. Thank you. You're welcome. Yeah, you're welcome, everyone. All I care about is that you guys learn. Don't be an idiot like me and move your stops. Don't fucking do it. Don't do it. It's such a bad habit that I've got of doing that. I see the market move on the tape and I'm like, I'm going to be tighter here. I'm going to save myself some money here. I'm going to... Dickhead. 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 Fucking dickhead. Sorry for the foul language. It's directed at me, though. It's not directed at you. I would call myself much worse if the stream wasn't on. I'm the easiest person to learn from. Mate, I'm not blowing my trumpet. It's because I'm the only teacher who does this stuff for free. I don't think, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know any other streamers doing this for free. Right, they might be like, oh, it's bounced to the 21 EMA and I'm short here without looking at the H1 or anything else that's ever taking place because I'm just trading like this nano time frame in front of me and the 500 tick chart says it's... Shut the fuck up. You're teaching people the worst habits ever. Maybe there are some others that I don't know of. They're probably... That's not fair. There are probably lots of others that I don't know of. But the majority of the really big guys that you see with millions of followers with their Lamborghinis who are trading made up stuff. What is order flow? Order flow is like what happens on the chart with a fair value gap and shut the fuck up. Oh my God, there's a big seller here. I'm getting out. Shut the fuck up. You're literally not teaching anyone anything. Yeah, the broccoli bros. Look at the perm on my head. I can't talk. I'll be fucking bald soon, mate. 41 next week. Jesus Christ, what happened? Where did the time go? Yes, Rips is a good trader. See, that's what I mean. Rips is an order flow trader. Rips is a good trader. No. Anyone who can halt the fucking market on gold is a good trader. Fucking what a G. What an absolute G. Fucking halted the market on gold. What a G. How do you get in Discord? It's only for people that do the beginner to advanced course. It's not open. How did he do that? How did he halt gold? He got a micro halt on gold because he was very aggressive short side on it when it started to break a key level. And I think it was in Globex and it lacked liquidity. And so it fucking dumped. And then they did like a nano pause and halt on gold because it lacked the liquidity. And he couldn't get all of his position out for big money. You got to be a big boy to be doing that. You got to be trading some serious fucking size. Yeah, Trade Brigade again. Matt at Trade Brigade is not your typical, you know, Instagram. I'm talking about these. I'm talking about guys on TikTok and that stuff. Like Matt at Trade Brigade is very, very good. Right, he's a very good trader. I think he's mainly focused on swings, but you know, if you want to follow the guys who I think actually give good value in this market, in markets like this, I would follow. I'd follow Matt at Trade Brigade. I'd follow. I can tell you, I'd follow FX. What's he called? I'll try and find some for you guys. I'd follow FX Evolution Trading Academy. I'd follow, I don't know how you say it, Arete Trading. Those are the guys I'd follow. Guys who know what they're talking about. Trade Brigade, great for structure and understanding, also good. I don't think Fabio has a channel, does he? Maybe he doesn't, I don't know. I'm talking guys that I'm not talking about guys that like necessarily trade live. I'm talking about guys that you will actually understand how the market really moves from. Guys who are going to give you a macro perspective of what's happening in the market. Not guys that are going to be like, this is a fair value gap, this is my setup, this is what I'm doing. You ain't going to learn shit from that, really. I'm talking about guys who can help you understand what's going on right now. Where is the money actually going? What are the Fed actually doing? What's happening with the bonds? What's happening with the dollar? Yeah, that's what I meant. Arete. I think that's what I just said. That, like, I trade nothing like him. We're very different in terms of execution. And I know he's very options based, but I respect his what he thinks, and I often look at stuff that he looks at and think, yeah, that's in line with what I think. All right, so you can just see at the moment you are continuing to reject. There's your initial balance rejection right now. I will check the order flow for you. There is some selling at the lows who are not being rewarded. So you do have a 200 lot stuck at 83, and you have some light selling at the lows under this. So really you need to move back under 83 to get your tag of the lows. Now, if they don't do that, you will see a two-leg pullback. Ideally, they just reject IB low for you guys that are in. But if you don't see that, you are going to see this drive up here. And then they're going to make a decision whether they come for this. And you're going to run out of time because you only got 10 minutes left. So ideally for you guys, they do it before lunch. Otherwise, you're going to have to sit through this, and maybe they do some bullshit up here before they come down for it again. And ideally, you see PDC get rejected on semiconductors here. They've rejected it once already. Maybe they need to come to view up and then reject back under, but ideally PDC rejects, and then you can build out some liquidity to trade lower. Right, how are we doing on the likes? You're still not there. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to go and use the bathroom. I'm going to refill on my coffee. If you guys can just smash that like button, when we come back, we can start doing some giveaways of some stuff. All right, I'll be right back, folks. Okay. Okay, so we got enough for an apex. Right, there's your two leg. We just talked about this. If they get through IB, then you'd expect a two leg to come and tag this. All right, we literally just talked about this. There's your two leg. Right, now I would say if they fail now, you've probably built sufficient liquidity to break lower. Right, I don't like this seller hanging out at 350 for you guys. That's not nice, him attracting price up here. I would like him to walk down and protect this, but I would expect now, if they get back under here, that this move can happen. All right, because they've built out a two leg. If they start holding initial balance, it's going to be a problem, but that is exactly what you want to see. And if you rewind the tape to probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 minutes ago, you would have heard me talk about it. What you need to see now is this. Now, why? Well, think about the structure, right? We need liquidity built out to move lower. Sellers need to protect this range, right? Sellers are in control. Sellers are in control from here, and they will be in control as long as they can keep it under here. If they can keep it under here, they can try and attack this. If they fail to stay heavy around the edge of this, all right, then you're going to get this exploration back into range, and this is your chop zone. You don't really want to see that. It might do this all because of this seller at 350 trying to attack price up right now. He is trying to tell this market to move up to him at 350, and I fucking guarantee you when he gets up there, he leaves. I guarantee you it's a buyer and it's not a legit seller up here. I guarantee you he leaves if we get up there. Hopefully it doesn't do that for you guys who are still sat in the short. But this is where the games start. You are 5 minutes from the close now as well. Right, set this up for you guys. Is that spoofing? Well, if he leaves, it is, yeah. Good luck proving it though. Here they come. They're going to come for him. Such a liquidity whore. Should you avoid trading lunch? I mean, it's up to you. I don't love lunch. Sometimes I'll sit in a trade. I don't like executing in a new trade in lunch, but sometimes I'll sit in a trade in lunch. Basically, after 11 o'clock, it becomes more retail-y. So you want to really, the prime entries come up to 11, all right, and then again towards the last 2 hours of the day. I don't really love trading the afternoon, though. Morning sessions for me, if I look at my win rate in the morning is very high. My win rate in the afternoon goes down substantially. Why does NQ love to go for liquidity? It just does. I can't tell you the whys. It just does. It's because it's dealers and market makers on the tape. If you're a buyer now and you see that seller up at 350, right, then you're encouraging. You're probably like, oh, I'm going to buy more because we're definitely going there. I'm going to buy more. 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 So by advertising where they want price to come, they encourage people to try and get it up there. Here we go. So they're trying to get up there. Now the question is, does he pull the order when he gets there, or do they just slam it before it even gets there? And so they just trap a load more buyers trying to get up there and then slam the door. We'll see. Alex, can you explain the volume profile you use on the right side of your higher time frame? It's exactly the same, mate. My higher time frame on the right side is this. It's my New York session, right? If we go to the left hand side of my higher time frame, it's previous weeks and current weeks. Okay, they failed to break this high here still. I still think this is the target. All right. It's just a question of whether they're going to be really nasty and come up here, or whether this seller is going to slam the door early, try and encourage all the bulls to come fighting in here, and then they do this, or whether they're going to be really nasty and do this move. Sellers really need to protect this area, right? It's as simple as that. If they can't protect that, it's going to be problematic. They're still advertising 350. The seller up there wants the Tyson trade to view up. He's trying to sell New York Open, right? 50s New York Open, is it? Yeah, it's where my stop should have been left. And you got just over a minute left until lunch. So just be aware of that. Let me just check the H1 here. Once we get into lunch, we'll do the giveaways, guys. Stop losses. It all depends on what your entry is. I don't know how to say your name. Sile. It all depends what your entry is and what you're playing. Right? I like to use either swing points or volume or a key level to protect my stop. Yeah? So like when I was getting short here, I was watching the build out of this. If we broke over this, then I'd have to either cut or be willing to add at 410s to the top side, right? If you were like long in this first hold of this, your stop needs to be the swing low. Here they go. They're trying to fill this guy at 350. All right. If you're short in this walk down, right, your stop is probably still here because this is really probably your swing point. So it's still 350, right? That's your swing point to move lower. I still think this is like a two leg, which can still fail and come down here at the moment. If they hold initial balance, it's going to be a problem. This area needs to be defended by sellers. It all depends what your trade is, right? So I would be using a node to defend, right? So if we were short up here, This is why I wanted this to turn around here to give me this entry in this node. Then I could use this, or I could use the buyer stuck for my stop. Right. As you become more advanced, you'll start using the buyers and sellers who are stuck as stops. It becomes easier. When you're starting out, I would say just use swing points. All right. So like, for example, if you are willing to short on this shove up here, you are either using this volume shelf as your stop, or you're using this swing as your stop, for example. Yeah. If you're walking this down, this is your stop. So let's say your entry is a break of here. Let's say you're just taking breakdowns. That's your short. Remove this. I'm just talking about from structural point of view. This is your stop. Right? If you take this breakdown, that's your short. This is your stop. Right? As you get more advanced, you'll trade the pullbacks in. You can get a tighter stop and more size. Right? Or you trade the pullbacks in to liquidity, and you use the stop here, or you use the shelf. Right? You have to have a stop based on some form of structure, whether it's volume or a swing point. It has to be based on some form of structure. Look what happens, right, when you're short and you move your swing point. Remember, I'm trying to play against this and this shelf. 50s was my stop, and I move it to protect. And guess what? Would still be in for this move. All right, so it has to be based on swing points. That's why I got so fucking annoyed with myself earlier. Alex, when you trade in the afternoons, do you avoid 350 intentionally? Yeah, I don't want to trade MOC. Here they come. They're coming for this 400 lot. Let's see if he lifts or not. So he's at 350. Is a 400 lot at 350. So you got to think, to get through this, they're going to have a 400 lot buy side come piling in. They've already filled 180 lot buy side up here. They're going to have to come flying in now to get a break above this. And he's pulled. No way! No way did he just pull his liquidity. Fucking scammers. Absolute scammers. I bet he didn't even move higher. I bet he's just gone. Yeah, he's just completely gone. There you go. No way. Who would have guessed he'd do that? They're scumbags, honestly. Right. Yeah, so they just got all the bulls to chase up to that liquidity, and now he's not there. Now, what happens if the bulls now be like, oh, fuck, what happens now? If they've just chased it, that's what happens, right? This is still the target. I still think it's a short. They've lifted it through here. You wouldn't want them to lift it through here, but that guy advertising has helped them lift it through here. So really, the bulls now need to defend value. If they defend value, they try and rotate. If they lose value, this is back on like Donkey Kong. But remember, you're in lunch now. Right, let's do a giveaway. Let's do the Apex one first, all right? So you know the score. FZT in chat. That's the code to use for Apex and all your prop firms. It's 90% off right now on Apex, off all accounts. And the 50K trail, I think, is $49 with no PA fee, activation fee, and the 100K trail is is $59, no activation fee. God, I almost got that wrong. But there's some good sales on right now. My favorite account right now is My Funded Futures Rapid account. That's my favorite account right now. Rapid end of day. I think that's the best account in the industry at the moment. Closely followed by probably Lucid and Take Profit Trader. I think those are the sort of best accounts in the industry right now. Take Profit Trader, you can use code FlowZone. There is still a sale on. I think the sale ends Friday, right? It's a 50% sale. They have now, I spoke to them yesterday, they have permanently changed Take Profit Trader to a 3-day pass. So it's no longer a 5-day pass. It's not just for the sale. It is now a permanent change to a 3-day pass, which I think is great. But there is a 50% sale on there, no activation fee right now. Code FlowZone if you're using Take Profit Trader, we get you the best deal. But everywhere else, code FCT. I'll give you guys a couple minutes. My funded futures daily payout options. Yep. End of day rapid accounts are daily payout options. Daily payout accounts with no trailing drawdown like other ones with end of day. Okay, looks like the old retail trap there into 350 right now, doesn't it? Starting to look like the old retail trap into 350. Advertise, don't get there, pull it, slam the door, and if they roll over here, if you were willing to sit in this, I still think here is possible. You just have to be careful if they hold initial balance. Give you guys 30 more seconds here, and we'll pull the winners. Decent trading day in the end. Decent trading day. It's just whether you get down here and break. Look at that, nasty. You'll get used to seeing this stuff, folks. The more you'll hear, the more you watch Bookmap and the tape, you'll get used to seeing their stupid games. They're stupid, stupid games. Thanks for joining, Ocean Waves. All right, let's pull this winner. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bodie, 2133. Are you here, Bodie? Nice. Congrats, Bodie. All right, email me, please, sir. info@flowzonetrader.com. Send me a screenshot of you logged into YouTube. I will sort you out with a free Apex account. All right, free Apex account on the way for you. How many likes we got here? All right, here's your IB. Alex, for Globex, how do you identify good opportunities when order flow is slow? You're still looking at the same things, it's just slower. So exactly the same principles, participants getting stuck, and you need to look left of the previous sessions or earlier that session where people are stuck. Nothing changes, principles are the same. Yeah, Flacco, 100 plus, but that one up there was 400. Right? So like if we look at this, let's just think about this. All right, now where, this is how I think about this. Where was the last big buyer stuck? Right? It's in this region, right? 200 lot, 100 lot, 200 lot. Right? So if we think about this, this is how I think about it. If he's stuck here and price has moved away from him, right, and he needs price to get up there, what's a really good way of doing it? Advertise, price up. Look, he's come on at 300 now. Advertise, price up there. Advertise the sell up there. Okay, market turns around and goes, oh, we're going to come up for that pivot. Comes up there. He's probably slowly unloading on the way up, right? And what you get is amateur hour here, stepping in, trying to buy everything, thinking we're going to fill the liquidity up there. We never fill it. This is the 400 lot. He was at 350. As soon as we get close, he pulls, right? And now you've got even more buyers stuck up there. The only difference now is you're starting to hold initial balance. Right, so this is your IB zone, and we will now ping pong. 350 to 300 is your ping pong, and under 350, pressure. Under 300, panic pressure. Where to? Probably to that 243 level if they can get down there. Over 350, then what? Well, we go back inside range, right? So if we think about this profile on the right, if you see this SVP, right, we can trade back up maybe to 450. Okay, so that's how we need to think about the market. Who's stuck, where they're stuck, how do they get out? What do they do when they get out? Do we find acceptance above them? Do we reject those levels? That's all we're thinking about all the time. It's all we are ever thinking about. Right? The reason this level is so important is this. Right? This is the edge. If you think about above that, it's buyers. It's mainly buyers stuck above that. If they get back above that, those buyers get let out. If they keep rejecting that, we can keep thinking about downside pressure. Okay. Right, we didn't do enough giveaways. We didn't do enough likes for another giveaway, but I'm going to do a giveaway for all the members as a thank you. I would like to say one thing. We are well over our goal now for the charity event. If you haven't already done it, I'm going to post it in chat. Right, I am giving away 50 Apex accounts, but all you need to do is make a donation to charity. All the information is in this, the charity, the links, everything's in there. Right, everything is in that link I just posted. Okay. So I'm going to give away my funded futures end of day rapid account to members. So let's type MFF, my funded futures. Remember, you only win if you are a member. Type it in chat once. Not a subscriber, you will need to be a member. If you're not a member, there's no point. No point trying right now. Give you guys a minute or two to do that. And they've just started the My Funded Club. So if you use FZT, I think you get automatically get put into that right now with My Funded Futures. So you get like rewards back on evals that you buy and stuff like that. I don't know everything about it, but I know that they're doing a reward strategy so you can start getting like free accounts and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. Pretty nice of them to do. My stomach is rolling. I'm hungry. All right, let's pull this one up. Stephanie 9420. Stephanie P 9420. Are you here, Stephanie? Nice. Congratulations. All right, you know the score. You're a member, so you know the score. info@flowzonetrader.com. Screenshot of you logged in. My Funded Futures end of day rapid account on the way to you. After you move to Texas, will you have a stream intro of you riding a bull? Yeah, I'm going to put my face on Casey's from Yellowstone. Maybe I'll be riding a unicorn instead. Yeah, so I'll probably be away that first week or 10 days of October. Is going to be hard for me. So I would anticipate. Let's have a look. I would anticipate that 5th to 9th kind of area. I might not be able to stream because I've got to get there. I've got to get the delivery there. I've got to get internet and everything set up. So that sort of first full week of October, I might not be on stream. Hopefully I will. It depends how quickly we can set up, right? So hopefully I will. Yeah, moving to Lakeway, correct. You have to survive on your own. Yeah, just for a few days, max a week. How far was Yellowstone? It's honestly one of the best series I've watched. I've already powered through a lot of the follow-on Dutton, whatever it's called. Get rid of these drawings so I can see more. Really good. I read yesterday that they're doing a new Sons of Anarchy called Legends with all the original characters, which would be cool. Dutton Ranch, yeah, I'm already like 7 episodes in. I'm absolutely plowing through it. Yeah, Taylor Sheridan, what a G. He just writes absolute fire. His characters are so good. Have I watched Landman? Yep. Love Landman. All right, team, I think that's it. As always, all right, for the afternoon, you're watching for Confluence over here. I'll resume this out to the 9:30. Let's just put it on a 5 minutes so we can see a bit more. Why does volume keep coming back? Go away. Oh my God, TradingView is absolutely fucked at the moment. All right, so you're watching these. All right, you can see how they've gone dull into lunch. We hit 12 o'clock and we've just done nothing since. All right, but you're watching to see. I'd be very cautious if this starts to reclaim this for this move. Same on all of these. You're starting to see them bottom out a little bit. If we see more downside pressure, then you're going to get that 300 break and you're going to look for the downside liquidity. Again, easy moves have gone for the day. I would stay short side in this all the time. You are rejecting here, but remember the best location to be short is up here, right? But all the time you're staying heavy and you can't get back inside this, then the look is to try and take this out, and then if you get very lucky, you get a nasty snap. If you get back inside this, honestly, I'd probably leave it alone. All right, because it's going to be tricky in here. They're going to do this garbage like this, just like they did earlier, right? So the easier trades are at the edges right now, and I don't love this bullish kind of trade back up when they're leaving this down here. So it concerns me slightly, to be honest, about trying to trade that bullish back up. So I'd be, I don't absolutely love a new entry short here, but I would rather see if sellers can protect this than try and play the relief. Obviously, the trade that we've taken a few times today is up here. Limit yourself to the number of trades. Remember, low-hanging fruit's pretty much gone. It's pretty much gone. And in terms of gamma, you're still neg gamma. We've just gone to sleep a bit, but you're not going to get positive gamma unless you get over the gap fill, and that looks very, very, very unlikely right now. And I'll also say, just remember that it's OPEX. Do we have earnings tonight? I think there's a few. There's nothing major. Let's have a look. Thursday after the close. Yeah, nothing worth worrying about. All right, team. And I'll see you tomorrow. We'll close out the week strong. I don't imagine we have too many A+ setups left for the rest of the week now. So we'll just have some fun on stream tomorrow if nothing sets up. Peace and love, everyone. Use hard stops, all that good stuff that we talk about all the time. Be kind. All right, go and do something positive with your day. Peace out. I'll see you in the morning.